Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well, that you're all having a great day, and without further ado, let's jump right into it. For the first time since taking over the G20 presidency, India has officially revealed details of the ongoing work around how they are planning to regulate cryptocurrencies. They said the International Monetary Fund is working on a paper in consultation with us, India, which will focus on aspects of the monetary policy and the policy approach to crypto assets. Seth also revealed that the International Monetary Fund had led a meeting with representatives of developing economies around the paper in January. The details confirmed CoinDesk's earlier reporting around the International Monetary Fund's role in the G20's crypto-related discussions. It says there's going to be 135-minute seminars on crypto assets on the policy response during a G20 meeting later this month, and for that, again, the International Monetary Fund is preparing the finalized paper that will form the base. While this may not seem that interesting or entertaining to you, the saga of cryptocurrency regulations within India has been taking place for roughly around 6 years now. India is at the top of the pedestal with the United States in making sure that there's just no cryptocurrency regulation. They've tried their hardest for as many years that have gone by to make sure that no one within their borders has any idea as to what is going on. There's been a major, gigantic back and forth between the central bank, the government, and the public as to, can we trade crypto? Is it legal? Is it illegal? Can I mine Bitcoin? If I make money from crypto, can I send it to my bank account? None of this information has ever been clarified by India, but now we're at the point where cryptocurrencies have become so large, the cryptocurrency space is unavoidable, if you will. Now India's coming forward talking about that the International Monetary Fund is also helping them. I have a very strange feeling. Whatever they come up with is going to be terrible, simply because India has made it abundantly clear that they're trying to make their own central bank digital currency. They want centralization to be a major part, a continual part of the government and making money, and any type of outside influence like crypto and or Bitcoin that may take power away from the people who are printing the money is not something that they want. So cool. I do wonder, even if after all of this, with them talking and discussing with the International Monetary Fund, if they'll still come up with nothing. I feel like it's a definite possibility. I can totally see them lying and saying that something will come of it, and then absolutely nothing hits the floor. So that's the India is officially working with the International Monetary Fund to try and coordinate on cryptocurrency regulations. I assume it'll be terrible, but that'll also be in the news as well. So yeah, let's move on. Also in news, the Shiba Inu community is apparently calling on Binance to list the Bone token, a governance token of the Shiba Swap ecosystem. So I think Shiba Inu has around 5 different coins that float around its ecosystem. Only ones I can remember are Shiba Inu, Bone. There's also Leash. I think there was a Dig coin at some point as well. Was there ever a Heal coin? I say that not in a joking manner. I remember there being multiple coins, and then they also have their own stable coin. Bone, however, is, I think, the more popular of all of them and has the highest expectancy for price movements upward and is the most second most bullish coin within the Shiba Inu ecosystem. A petition has been created on change.org in order to encourage members of the community to voice their support for the listing. As explained in the petition, Bone is designed to allow the SHIB army to vote on upcoming proposals. The more Bone a user holds, the more weight their vote carries in the future. Bone has a total circulating supply of only 250 million tokens, that is in stark contrast to the several trillion coins or whatever for Shiba Inu. So this, you would assume that it wouldn't be, but this was one of the most popular news stories that was floating around out there. Shiba Inu is relatively unmatched in its unwavering popularity within the cryptocurrency space. We do hear sometimes, often, normally, about Dogecoin and the inner happenings, but a lot of times, if there is Dogecoin news, it typically has to do with Elon Musk or something with Twitter or trying to get it listed. There was Dogecoin news a couple of days ago where people found out that Twitter is making a Twitter coin and not initially adding Dogecoin, and then I think they stopped the Twitter tipping bot for Dogecoin, and the Dogecoin price also went down. The point to be made is Shiba Inu remains in very high demand. A lot of people love this. I assume the first step is to harass Binance to get them to list Bone, and then they go to Coinbase if Coinbase doesn't already have it, and then they go to Robinhood. And Robinhood is always like the top of the mountain when it comes to please list my coin. It's really weird. If you look at the image really quick, I always thought this white part were eyes, but I was like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Why would it have 4 eyes? Anyway, that's the Shiba Inu community is trying to get the coin Bone listed onto Binance. I assume it will happen eventually. The people from Binance want to make as much money as possible. And if they know that this is a huge part of the ecosystem, I don't assume that they're going to be shunning it. It'll probably get listed at some point. That's the Shiba Inu news. The first time we haven't had any 9 bajillion Shiba Inu coins have been burned news. It's usually burn news. Okay, let's move on. Also in news that people try to make news, but it's not really news. The second largest publicly listed holder of Bitcoin, cryptocurrency mining firm Marathon Digital Holdings, has offloaded some of its Bitcoin for the first time in 2 years. I will explain. The idea of the cryptocurrency space, and more so of Bitcoin, has to do with, in no uncertain terms, you can do what you want with your money at any given time whenever you see fit. You have 30,000 Bitcoin that you managed to acquire 1,000 years ago when Bitcoin was 1 cent. You can sell it. You can move it around. You can do whatever you want. Why? Because it's your money. It's your crypto. It's your Bitcoin. No one can, in blockchain terms, tell you what to do with it. Part of the problem is that a lot of people, I think, how I always say, I think people don't understand the point of crypto. So I think a lot of new people have gotten into the space in the last, I'll give it 2 to 4 years, and they are commenting on news that would normally barely even make headlines in the normal traditional financial space. I.e., sometimes you may hear that a bank moved $100 billion or was found laundering $100 billion, as banks typically do. But whenever you hear about movements within the cryptocurrency space or people moving Bitcoin, it's meant to terrify and kind of scare you in some sort of way. That's why a lot of times when we have really crazy whale alert news, I'll make a video or have it inside of a video and I'm like, someone's moving $53 billion worth of a coin today. It's going to be Binance. Don't panic when you get news. And then a lot of the news that ends up coming up is oh my gosh, Binance moved coins. Are they going to be selling it? And it's that's not how it works. The point to be made is if it's your money, you can do what you want with it. That's how cryptocurrencies work. On the flip side, people who mine Bitcoin in larger mining operations, people forget that they have bills. A lot of people are renting their spaces. I mean, gigantic warehouses, or they're renting land, or they're renting or have, even electricity bills, which is also a major thing. Some of these places have, $500,000 worth of electricity that has to be paid. You can look at how large some of the mining factories are. It doesn't really matter. So the issue lies when these companies who are mining tons of Bitcoin eventually at some point decide to sell. They will have to sell if they're trying to keep the lights on. Unless they're running an operation that is completely run on their land, in their factory, in their warehouse, and they're using electricity that is made from wind turbines or water sources or geothermal energy that they own or control, they're going to have to pay rent or taxes or whatever the case might actually be. So this news was floating around that Marathon Digital Holdings had to actually sell some of their Bitcoin. Why? Because they had to pay bills. But the problem is that when this news surfaces, it always comes out as, should you be scared? Should you be worried? How do you prepare? Should you also be selling your Bitcoin? Now, for those of you not looking at the screen, Marathon Digital sold 1,500 Bitcoin. They did not sell 15,000 Bitcoin. They did not sell 45,000 Bitcoin. They did not sell 150,000 Bitcoin. Gosh darn it, they didn't even sell 1 million Bitcoin. They sold 1,500, which came out to $35 million. Not 350 million, not 3.5 billion, not $350 billion, $35 million. The amount of liquidity in the cryptocurrency space is quite significant. We are once again a $1 trillion market. In the long ago, when you hear about something about liquidity, for those of you who don't know, I'm sure a lot of people do, it's how liquid something is. How quickly and how fast you can buy it or sell it with little friction, but also how quickly you can buy or sell it from a marketplace and not actually affect the price. I.e., if you have a $1 trillion market and you sell $1 trillion worth of crypto, your market's going to collapse. However, on the flip side, if you sell $1 billion worth of crypto, the market will react, but it won't completely fall apart. If you sell $50 million in a $1 trillion market, as huge as the amount sounds, it's barely a drop in the bucket. So when this one company sold $35 million after not having done so for 2 years, because I assume they had a whole bunch of stuff that had to be paid or they simply wanted extra money for whatever other operations that they're doing, this then became also one of the largest news stories that was out there, with a number of people panicking, trying to figure out why they sold. Apparently, the company came forward and said that it was not because of financial distress, because people were frothing at the mouth. People love the idea whenever a company is failing or doing bad, because it makes very good headlines. Oh my gosh, you should be worried. Something bad is happening. They sold their Bitcoin. This is how it always ends up going about. So just the next time that you hear something like this, because everyone has to sell at some point. People want to sell their coins. People want to, go into other ventures, whatever the case might be. But this was gigantic news. Nope, it's not because they needed the money. It's simply because they just wanted more, or they planning on doing something else. Maybe they're expanding. Also, who cares? It's their money. Can you imagine if you had sold off $35 million worth of something and everyone was like, why'd you do it? Are you trying to crash the market? Should we be scared? Are you going to sell off more? It's not. It's no one's business, because it's not their money. It's yours. That's the Marathon Digital sold Bitcoin for the first time in 2 years and people flipped news. Yeah. Let's move on. Also in news, the online marketplace eBay. I don't know what eBay stands for. Electronic Bay? But why? What does that even mean? Like, bay who? Do they mean like like an ocean bay? I'm asking a real question. I have no idea why it's called eBay. Is seeking to fill several positions in the area of Web3 and NFTs. You're going to see a lot of the news connects the exact same way. According to several LinkedIn job postings, eBay is looking for a creative crypto attorney for the marketplace, Known Origin, which it acquired in June of 2022. According to eBay's job postings published on LinkedIn, the e-commerce giant is seeking to fill several positions for NFTs and Web3. This follows eBay's... Okay, we just read all of that. Why are they writing it all over again? The new job openings include positions such as Crypto Counsel, Head of Community for Known Origin, and Marketing Campaign Executive for Known Origin as well. So far, with the past 24 hours, 17 people applied, 31 applied for community positions, and 37 applied for the marketing position as well. Are you surprised that eBay is trying to get further into NFTs and or Web3? No, of course not. Many years ago, this was 2014 or something like that, there were so many rumors that eBay was going to actually accept Bitcoin as a payment option, and that completely disappeared. What was the other one? It was Overstock. Overstock was the first company ever, the first largest company. to actually accept cryptocurrency as a form of payment. So I guess we can only assume that from the job listings at some point, eBay, do they have this already? I don't know these things. Do they already have an NFT tab up top? I don't know. If not, they're going to have one probably by the end of this year. For those of you who missed it last year or the year before, with me clamoring about it so much, NFTs have not disappeared. They are still here. For as many of you who don't like them, I don't really know what to tell you. NFT places and marketplaces, especially as the markets have rebounded, are still just as popular as ever. So it's meant to be a major thing. Once again, this is all basically coinciding with the news that we've been given that sometime in spring, April, Apple is supposed to be releasing their augmented reality glasses or contact lenses. I have no idea how they're going to be releasing them. But every other company is now trying to keep up as well. And the idea is that NFTs are going to be very big because basically you'll be able to show all your friends the billions of things in NFTs that you have in a digital way without it taking up any space on your actual walls. So anyway, that's another conversation for another time. That's the eBay is looking to hire people for Web3 and for NFTs. Not surprising. Yeah. Let's move on. Also in very popular news, one of Germany's largest asset managers will be offering Bitcoin and crypto to their clients. DekaBank, that is DEKABANK, which has over $390 billion in assets under management, has selected Swiss crypto services provider Medico to underpin and orchestrate its digital asset custody and management operations per a Tuesday press release. DekaBank is a key provider of securities in Germany, offering a broad range of services including custody, asset management, and capital market solutions to the German Savings Banks Finance Group. The new partnership will enable DekaBank's extensive network of savings banks to access Bitcoin and cryptocurrency services through a regulated and intuitive investment vehicle. They said digital assets are a critical part of the future, a radical new way for how assets will be represented, from currencies to real estate. Today, we make another important step towards laying the foundation for giving our institutional investors and millions of people in Germany access to this transformational opportunity, end quote. For those of you who have been here for a while, this is not anything that should be, first of all, one, it is significant as if you will, another bank has bent the knee, once again, if you will. Two, we heard years ago, this was around the same exact time, this was I think in 2021, where we heard that there were hundreds of banks who were trying to get regulatory approval within the US of A to be able to hold and custody and buy and sell cryptocurrencies. Around the same exact time, we heard that I believe there were 13 banks, I think that was the number, within Germany who were trying to do the exact same thing. Germany also has one of the best tax rates for crypto. We've gone over that before. Portugal was number one within Europe because they had a 0% tax rate. And Germany, I believe, has, if you're holding your crypto for over a year and you sell it, there's no taxes on it. So it makes a lot of sense. That's very popular news. DekaBank selects Swiss crypto specialist Medico to steer digital asset offering. They're all doing the exact same thing. It's just a matter of which one actually ends up making it into the news first. Banks are understanding that they need to propel themselves at least like 5 years into the future. So, they have to get to at least the 1980s as quick as they possibly can. But on top of that, I think a lot of people who are into crypto or have their first foray into crypto typically do so from Coinbase or Binance. So I don't know the relevance of banks trying to join the space when most people will just be getting into crypto through a cryptocurrency exchange and not a local bank. But who knows? Times may change. I also wonder this as well. A lot of times when I'm weird. If I see older people walking around and I'm thinking about crypto, I wonder how would they get into crypto? You're not going to convince them that, to make a Coinbase account or to copy and paste the 30 character long addresses. They'll probably do it through their local bank who will offer them some other type of account or something. So I guess that's how it's. I guess it's gonna work that way. That's the German bank is working with a Swiss crypto specialist to offer cryptocurrencies. No time frame for it. Once again, I assume sometime this year or the end of the year. It won't take that long. Okay. Let's move on. Also, I have a lot of questions. Like, I actually have thousands of questions. Binance has apparently announced a new decentralized storage system based on their native blockchain. In a recent announcement, Binance has revealed a white paper for something called BNB Greenfield, right? A three-piece Web3 enabled data storage protocol built on top of the Binance Smart Chain. They said BNB Greenfield consists of a trinity that works together to provide a decentralized data storage system with users at the center. It is going to be BNB Greenfield blockchain plus storage providers, new BNB Greenfield dApps, and existing BNB chain dApps. That's the trinity that they're talking about. Binance says it's working with Amazon Web Services and building the system, as well as blockchain infrastructure firms Node Real and Blockdaemon, that is Daemon. According to Binance, the new system aims to allow for personal cloud storage, website hosting, a social media function, as well as storing transaction data from the Binance Smart Chain. When I say I have questions, it's for a number of reasons. A lot of people like to throw around the term decentralized without things actually being decentralized. So the idea for me of a decentralized anything, especially a storage system for data or information or web hosting or website or social media, I would assume then myself that this platform would be able to be used by anyone at any time, regardless of location or jurisdiction, once again, as it is decentralized and there's no proper figurehead. But at the same exact time, Binance itself is a company. Binance is centralized as they are a company, regardless of how decentralized their Binance chain might actually be. I haven't looked into the metrics. I frankly don't actually even care. The other part is, if you are going to promote something as a decentralized way for people to be able to host a website or a social media page, I wonder the validity of the statement, simply because there are a number of places around the world right now. You yourself might be lucky enough to have a relative degree of freedom, whether it be speech, gathering, whatever the case might be, but many places around the world do not have this. So will this new system allow people around the world a way to communicate with each other in a decentralized way that can't be shut down so that their freedom remains intact even during a time of crisis? Will this allow people, adults, to be able to create websites that they wish to choose to do without them actually getting in trouble by their local government or someone else who's trying to, I'm sure you catch my drift. Same with social media. There are many places around the world, you can think of them, that don't allow people to actually write things on social media because it ends up being illegal. Will this new system that's being promoted as decentralized allow people around the world to interact with each? You understand? Like, it's all these questions that I have. Because a lot of times people within crypto hear something, they get bullish on it, and they go, cool, I'm going to throw my money into that project. But think about the actual ramifications of them saying this is for everyone, not controlled by anyone. And then people use this, and at some point in 7 years down the line, someone's like, hey, we want the information from X, Y, and Z who did X, Y, and Z. Does Binance then hand over the information, or is Binance not actually in control of this? Is it simply a community-run thing where there are thousands of nodes? So those are my questions. I told you I had a lot of questions. I think we could live, and I know we could live in a near utopia, and I don't expect a lot of that to happen online, at least anytime soon, but I think we are, or could be rather close, if decentralization and privacy continues to expand within the space. But that also leads to so many other questions that I have, because we have seen before, a lot of times, many other projects have been created or have been, come to fruition, and then they're not decentralized. They end up closing down or giving away information, or they're gathering your information. So we'll see how this actually ends up unfolding. I hope that other people also look into this as well, because the original idea of the internet was basically a place where we could all gather and talk with each other, regardless of our position in the world, to be able to share information and videos. It's mostly cat videos now, but you understand. So yeah, Binance is apparently making a new decentralized storage system. It's going to be on Amazon Web Services, and I assume if something less than or whatever ends up popping up and Amazon doesn't like it, they can also take it down. See, it's not as shiny anymore when you realize, it's just painted gold. That's the Binance news. Sure. Let's move on. Also sure, why not? Go for it. Cryptocurrency exchange Bitstamp has announced support for the euro-backed IOUs on the XRP ledger. This implies that Bitstamp customers can now take advantage of the XRP ledger to transfer the value of euros across the network. Speaking on expanded support on Twitter, Bitstamp wrote, "We're expanding our IOU service on the XRP ledger. You can now use euro-backed IOUs as your gateway to the XRP ledger. Dip your toes into DeFi with cost-effective and fast transfers. Increase transparency and zero transfer fees on all IOU transfers." I'm noticing that the weird trend of all these crypto exchanges now once again re-announcing or talking about support for XRP and or Ripple and or XRP ledger-based things over the last couple of weeks. I think it mainly has to do with the expectation that a lot of people have at this point that Ripple may probably end up winning their lawsuit. So this is where I think it actually is coming from. As stated in the blog, from the 26th of January to the 27th of March, Bitstamp says it will be offering zero transfer fees on all IOU transfers. XRP ledger-based wallet Zoom, or Zum, it's XUMM. It's kind of like, remember the TV show Xena? I used to call it Xena because I didn't get how the X would be Z. Celebrated a new milestone reached by tweeting, "Another euro issuer on the XRP ledger. Congrats on the launch of Bitstamp. More stablecoins for more future retail adoption. The XRP ledger as payment rails and Zum wallet as app to interact with them." This is cool. It's cool. It's awesome that people are finding more ways to do things with the XRP ledger. It's no longer just transferring XRP. They're trying to make their own NFT platforms and smart contract platforms and like all these like wrapped coins and stuff like that. Weren't they doing something with Cardano, or am I completely... Who was the one they were talking about wrapping coins on the XRP ledger? I don't remember. There's also people trying to make like a lot of cross-chain things and cross bridges, and I think it's really cool. It's just a matter of if people are going to be using them. We've seen a lot of euro-based stable coins launching before, and they didn't really take off. A lot of people, this is why we continuously just have mainly Tether and Circle coin. It's because, you need like an actual huge market like of Europeans who are going to want to use value, and especially just on the XRP ledger, as opposed to just simply buying something on a crypto exchange with euros or US dollars. So cool. It's awesome. It's nice to see that all these things are finally coming to be after hearing about all the things that Ripple and other developers had planned for the XRP ledger. So I assume it'll be used, but will it be whatever, like hundreds of dollars per day? Will it be millions? Will this be a major thing? Do people want euro IOUs? All right. That's the Bitstamp. Has announced support for euro-backed IOUs on the XRP ledger. Yeah. Let's move on. Rightio. I do hope that you have all enjoyed this weird video. It wasn't that weird. I mean, we've had a lot weirder videos. Do hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, great morning, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Do hope it's absolutely fantastic. You can even tell that there's so much more activity. If you ever look at the end of these videos when I show like all these graphics of all the transactions trying to get through, for reference, Bitcoin normally only has one bus. One. Think of that. There's usually only one Bitcoin bus, maybe about like 6 or 7 for Ethereum. And there's never usually like a waiting line for Bitcoin. Now look at all the different buses and look at how many people are standing on Bitcoin's line. Ethereum always has a very long line. It's the most used blockchain on the planet. Yeah. Do hope you all enjoyed. Have a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.